WWE finally opened the doors to arenas where Vince McMahon asked, "Where the hell have you been?" Well, we've been here the entire time. The Smack Attack rolls on as per Money James McIver alongside my partner in crime, John Enright. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever the fuck the time it is. How you doing, my man? Fans are back. The doors are open. People are
fans
here.
Are back. In as EC3 said at the last show I went to, the freest state in America. You know, so I don't know if this coincides or not. So somebody talked about the other day how there's like the group of guys who are at the front of WWE shows, and they were at the front of AEW.
Exactly what you're about to say, yeah.
And everyone's like, "Oh my god, they let us." No, hey, dumbasses. AEW was in Austin. Then they're going to go to Houston to watch Raw. I guess SmackDown. I didn't pay attention to fans last night because I watched.
They plan that shit.
Yeah,
they work it out. They travel
Houston,
from stadium to stadium.
I guarantee you they're going to be at Money in the Bank tomorrow night in Fort Worth. They're going to be at Dallas, the Raw the next day, and then oh, by the way, AEW is in Dallas and Garland.
Yep.
You know, on Wednesday, which, by the way, my man Lance Archer is taking on Jon Moxley in a Texas death match, the second one they've had. Which I don't know if you saw the first one, but the first one was just absolutely great. It was very cool. At one point, Lance took a plastic bag and he was doing the claw and covered Jon Moxley's face with the plastic bag doing the claw. Ooh. It was really cool. But somehow that didn't win it. You know,
it's like he'd killed the guy, but it wasn't enough.
He literally about murdered a guy in the ring, but he kicked out. You know, wrestling. You know,
if you can't be killed, then you're Hogan.
Yeah,
surely.
Yeah, exactly. Moxley is Hogan. So, you know, hopefully
the viewers are going right up. Hello, guys. Thanks for coming. How are we doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, how do they afford it? How do they get like the money to like go front row every single show and be like the middle, the front, the actual middle? Because we looked at the
hard cam,
yeah. Because we looked at a few weeks back, we talked about the tickets for Money in the Bank and how extortionate they were, just even for being in the nosebleeds. And these guys are just like, gotta sit in the front row, front and center, hard cam, every show, WrestleMania, nay bother.
They've got to be ridiculously wealthy. Like, I mean, even if they don't get the tickets, they must walk up to somebody and say, "I'll give you $10,000 for those tickets."
Oh, totally. They must have like
stupid money, just stupid money that you can just go, here you go, $10,000, and I'll take your tickets. And that's the only way that this works.
Yeah,
yeah, and so.
Starting strong, boy. Starting strong.
Canadian Spaceman, this was for you. Good job.
Sell drugs.
Yeah, so
if I was that big a fan, I'd sell drugs too.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that honestly, hey, if you got it though, do it. I mean, totally. I do it for these local shows here in Texas. Elbow bumps. Hey, Wolfers, we don't elbow bump. We hug. We're brothers hug, man.
Elbows. That's fancy.
Unless I'm whipping your ass, then you're getting an elbow.
If you will.
If you will. So, I mean, I do that with local shows. Like, I mean, I went to a show, was it down 3 weeks ago? I went to a show 2 weeks ago. I'm going to a show next week because they just had some good shows and the prices are reasonable. I mean, I think it was $60 for me, my son, and my girlfriend to go last week. 2 weeks ago, my dad paid, so it was like $150 for us to sit in the VIP area. The show I'm going to next week, which I need to shout them out, by the way. Pele Pro Wrestling. Going to the show next week.
Did you just say Pele?
Pele Pro Wrestling. Yeah,
that's in the football or Pele?
Yeah, Pele.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, and
some free tech action.
well, here's the thing. So the owner, his name's Kyle Hesser, really cool dude. What he does is front row tickets are $50, and if you have a kid 16 and under, they come free. So they sit next to you as you, so like if you got a front row seat, you're 16, you just tell them how many 16 and unders you need, and that's where you're going to sit, and they're going to come in with you. So if you got a family of 5, but it's 3 kids, you're paying for just 2 tickets, and then the 3 kids are getting in for free. So he does a really good job of making it affordable. 25 for general admission. And he said, I was thinking about doing 30 and 15. I'm like, that would be awesome. Yeah. But he's just, He's doing it he's like, I've been blessed. And so I'm just trying to help take care of others. And so the reason why I have to shout him out is because right here, as you guys know, I'm in my office. He donated a bunch of tickets to the kids at our program. And he says standing invitation for kids of our program and for clients of Freedom House. So I got to give him a huge shout out to Kyle Hessler and Pele Pro Wrestling. If you're not following them on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, go follow them. You just type in Pele Pro Wrestling, you'll find it. Their next show is July 24th, State of Emergency. Matches start at 7. Well, they do. At least one of my friends does a Pele kick there. But if you can't make the shows here in Texas, you can watch them, I believe, on Fight and on the title match networks. So he puts on great shows, man. And you might see me on the front row going, woo, being crazy. So I just want to give them a shout out because they have done an incredible job of helping take care of the kids I work with, and man, providing free tickets and saying, hey, how many you need? I got you. You know,
you think like this is a weird thought in my head. See, if you're a teacher, would you not be tempted to arrange a school trip to it? Kids go free. Like, okay, just sign some permission slips, get them out there. Like,
why not?
Let's go see a street fight, kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
no holds barred, no falls count anywhere, kids.
Right? Yeah. Let's see. Let's take kids and let's talk about. Let's see some blood. Let's see some action here. But it's wrestling. It's entertainment.
Even better is like how like you get some teachers who work as wrestlers.
Right.
If you had a teacher that was
Tim Storm in Texas, right here.
So what you could do is like have like the teacher book the school trip to the show, not give away to the wrestler, have them booked to the match. So when it kicks off, teacher's like, hold up, I'm coming in the ring.
Yeah.
And just like that'd be cool.
That would be cool. That you would definitely be like, my teacher is now the coolest teacher in the world. Right. And I mean, the perfect storm, Tim, the perfect storm. Just
unless he did the job at the time, like you don't want to do that in front of your class. You don't want to be jobbing.
Well, at the time he was teaching, he was NWA champ. When they bought it, and he held it for a while, did a great job until Nick Aldis took it over.
He like put the title on his desk, like.
I would.
The belts there.
I would. I mean, he taught in the Mid Cities area here, in the Hershey-Lewis Bedford area here in the Metroplex, and man, that was me. I'd have that sucker on my desk and be like, all right, you want to mouth off to me? Look what I got right here. Let's go.
I'm legit.
Yeah, I'm legit. I'm legit. I'm the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. 10 pounds of gold, Sweet Charlotte, whatever you want to say. You got to talk because I got this, And so, it's just very interesting, living here, and you get to meet a lot of these really cool people and connect with them and, all that fun stuff. So, it's funny because 3 or 4 years ago when I started this journey just with independent wrestling here in Texas, and just the people I've gotten to meet and the things I've gotten to do because of it, it's been great. It really makes you appreciate wrestling that much more. Especially when you know the guys and know the people. And, I may or may not be hanging out with a wrestler and taking them to Buc-ee's after the show next week, which Buc-ee's, in case you don't know, is a gigantic gas station here in Texas that is basically like a gas station with a Walmart. But they have incredible food. They have like something like, depending on the station, you can have anywhere between 60 to 100 gas fill up places, so you can get gas at any of those things. And then you walk in the store, half the store is like tchotchkes and t-shirts and stuff. The other half is nothing but food. I'm talking baked, barbecue brisket, pulled pork sandwiches, jerky, snacks on snacks on snacks, fudge that's made fresh every day. But that's the thing. Everything is made fresh every day. So like they're cooking the brisket right there in store, and they're pulling it out and cutting it and slicing it and putting on bread right there for you. So you're getting a hot, fresh brisket sandwich.
I'm like a gas station or a petrol station for the UK listeners. Like that, I would never imagine that to be like night out material. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to take you out. Where we going? Gas station.
Yeah.
Oh, like normally that's like They ended. Game over. Just take her back. Just take her home, drop her off, and you just head back and do your own thing. But that's pretty fascinating. I've never heard of a place like this before.
Okay, so
it's like a market. It's like a total like food market.
What you're getting some homework. I want you because part of the live show next week. By the way, gentlemen, and all of our fans, don't forget that next week we're doing a live panel with everybody. It's a big one to talk about the first week of having fans back with WWE.
I'm actually writing this down.
Yeah, but James, you need to go to YouTube and Google Buc-ee's and watch a couple of videos of travel people who go to Buc-ee's and spend like 24 hours eating meals at Buc-ee's.
You can do like Buc-ee's? Is that IES, isn't it?
No, it's BUC.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have to BUC. It's like BUC dash EE.
Oh, okay.
And it's a beaver as the mascot, and it's considered a convenience store, but it is a convenience store on steroids. It's Texas as Texas can get. They've opened one up in like Daytona Beach and like in Gulf Shores, but yeah, like when you think Texas, you're thinking Texas. There's so much Texas stuff everywhere. Exactly. Well, hey, Canada Spaceman, when you see what a Buc-ee's is,
Mark, on a Saturday.
Yeah. But when you see what a Buc-ee's is, you're going to appreciate this homework because
I'm in on this. Fuck it. Like, no, hang on, give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Just go look it up. Look it up real quick.
Let's go for it.
And then, hey, you can share it on screen.
Yeah, I can. Hang on. Right, Buc-ee's. Oh my God, Buc-ee's in Texas. Right, here we go. Jesus! The fucking size of this place. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let's see if I can go on the video. I'll just put it on this one here, and that's what I'll do is I'll share. Oh yeah, hang on. Share screen. Share screen. Entire screen window. How did I do this? Oh, hang on. YouTube share. Right, not that one. That's the metrics, people. You don't want to see that one. You don't want to see that one, guys. You don't want to see who's watching this thing.
Yes, Wolfers. If you, the best way is if someone took an Aldi's on one side and a food on the other. Which YouTuber is this one? Kara Nate. I love Kara Nate. I follow them. It's great. Yeah, so you can get a beaver onesie. You can get these burritos, chips, fudge, giant cup.
We're obviously not going to watch the whole 18 minutes of this, but I'm fascinated by this.
Yeah. So, and guys, if you don't follow Karen, they're great. They travel the world and they live in a van.
No. I don't want to do. Here we go. Right, here we go. Straight to business. I want no nonsense.
Yeah. So, fresh. See, they're doing stuff like that.
Sorry, I could care about you. This is massive.
Yeah.
What's going on?
So that's the tchotchke side with all the different Texas glasses and hats, shirts, Buc-ee stuff you can get. So that's the drink wall. That's the drink wall, the soda wall. That's all the sodas. They have their own brand sodas, which are really, really good. Plus, like Coke and all that kind of stuff. So that's, and then they got a coffee wall that's just as big. All that to the left is like, that's all food. And then this is your hot, like briskets and everything that they cook right there.
They've got like ready-made sandwiches, like burgers, good to go. Just pick that shit up. Why not? Go for it.
Burgers, those are breakfast sandwiches. These are your kolaches and all that from your deli. This is all your jerky, homemade, fresh.
Oh my! They look like the sort of things you'd give a dog. They're massive.
Yeah, you got cheese, you got turkey jerky, you got all kinds of different sausages and jerkies you can get there. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, you got, cold stuff that you can get. It is amazing.
That's insane.
And so this is why people like coming to Texas. So like even local wrestlers, they love Buc-ee's because it's 24 hours. And so you can get food after the match. And if you're heading, especially if you're heading south, so if you live in Houston and you're coming to DFW, you're muted. Yeah.
Oh, am I muted? No, wait, it can't be.
No, there you are. I think it's off.
No. Sorry. If it looks like I'm having a seizure, my camera's just catching up.
Okay. Yeah, like you're talking and then the sound's coming later.
It's like,
like I didn't know you were Japanese all of a sudden. But yeah, like everybody, if you're going, especially if you're going south, if you live in Houston, there are at least 3 or 4 Buc-ee's on the way south to get to Houston. There's some going to Austin. I passed one going to my parents' house in Terrell. If you go north to Oklahoma, there's a couple that way, one on 35 and one on 75. I mean, they've got Buc-ee's covered all over the place, man. I'm telling you, you want to go somewhere in Texas, there's going to be a Buc-ee's there. And it's magical. It's wonderful. It is something that it is needed to be held in real life, unlike this SmackDown.
I don't know. I thought SmackDown was all right this week.
It was okay.
It was okay. It was okay.
So
I'm catching up. I'm nearly catching up. I'm just watching this feed of me just like miles behind myself. Just like,
I wonder
what's going on.
I wonder if the YouTube video made you kind of lag out a little bit.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's probably like the processing power. There we go. Back online.
There we go.
I can talk a little bit. Yeah, SmackDown. First SmackDown with fans.
Yes.
WWE sold post WrestleMania in 18
in Texas.
In Texas, which is quite not surprising, but a good choice because we're here Texas till Monday. We've got SmackDown, Money in the Bank, and Raw. And as we alluded to earlier, we're going to be doing a big panel next week, and it's all going to be. We're going to do the review of SmackDown as normal, hopefully, but it's going to be all about this week from Friday to the next Friday. Like fans coming back. What's it going to be like? What are the challenges that WWE are going to be faced with? What's the response going to be like? I think the SmackDown showed that some things didn't land as well as they maybe would have hoped.
Right.
So the reason we could have done it this week, but I think this week, doing it the whole week gives us a good coverage of data. Right. Gives us all the data and all the necessary information, and we can kind of make a clear judgment on this. We've had 18 months of no fans and screens.
And then let's be honest, you're all of a sudden boom, boom, boom. Because you had SmackDown Friday in Houston, then you're going Fort Worth with Money in the Bank Sunday, and then Monday is Raw. So
was it all in different arenas? I thought it was all like the same place.
No. So Houston's 4 hours south of here. So I think it was at the Summit or Toyota Center, Center, and then they've got to trek 4 hours north up here, and then set up in Fort Worth at the Dickies Arena, and then Fort Worth is about 30 to 40 miles from Dallas. So even though we call this whole thing the Metroplex, there's still a good distance between Dallas and Fort Worth. And of course you have Arlington in the middle and all that kind of stuff. So the Dickies Arena holds about 12. That'll be there Sunday. And then Monday they've got a bus over to Dallas. But the good thing is if WWE was smart, they probably booked hotels in that Arlington area and went ahead and got them situated. Which, by the way, before we talk about the start of the show, how about Davey Smith Jr. getting a dark match in Houston?
I was about to say he Canada Spaceman's commented on Aaliyah having that. She's going to Raw as far as I'm aware, but yeah, she'll have that much. But that day, Harry Smith back in action, looking like my dad. Weird. I gotta say it right. Everything I've seen of him, every clip and every image of him, it's like he looks like a dad. I'm like,
yeah.
Mate, if we missed a boat here. It's good to see him back. WWE obviously denying that he wrestled everywhere in the world apart from WWE in the last 10 years because he was like, if you go on the YouTube chat video, it's like competing for the first time in 10 years. It's like he was around. He did stuff.
He did a lot of really good stuff.
Yeah.
When they're playing that game again, which. That's the one thing I hate. I did like his interview on, I don't know if you saw it on WWE, on their YouTube page. He had a good interview.
So is he back then? Is he?
From my understanding, the way because you don't normally interview somebody after a dark match on SmackDown, and so he didn't come out and say it from everything. It was pretty much inferred that he's back because he's like, if you go to YouTube and here, I'm not going to play it. But I'll go to WWE's YouTube page and show you where they're like
when he's looking like a crazy dad.
Yeah, and they have him back, and it's like, oh look, here's Harry Smith. But it's he was either on here or on WWE.com.
Even outside promotions like
there it is right there. Here, Let me share
Forbidden
this.
door. Bullshit, lads. Door's
Okay.
shut. That's what that is. Door's shut. But yeah, it was quite interesting. I'm fascinated to see what they would do with them because I don't think there's very much, unfortunately. Annoyingly, like when you see how
right there.
WB, hang on, I'll bring it up for us here. We can have a look at that there. Oh yeah, look, you just look like your dad's. Look at him.
Right here, right next to Natalia and Tamina, which I find interesting. That
more of the century, guys.
Yeah, for the first time in a decade. But I mean, not that he hasn't been doing anything for a decade and just whipping people's asses and looking.
Oh, did
really
you not
good.
hear, John? Japan doesn't exist anymore.
Oh yeah, you're right. Because him and Lance Archer are just kicking everybody's ass over there.
World of Sport. Who were they again?
Yeah, I know, right?
That's actually a bit of a rubbish one because they only lasted for like 8 weeks.
Yeah, are they going to call him Harry Smith again?
It was D.H. Smith, wasn't it, when he was here? So that's what used to be DH, like David Harry Smith.
Yeah.
Why not just call him Davy Boy Jr.?
Which is what he did everywhere else, because that's the problem, though. He did that everywhere else, and they don't have control over that. And we know how Vince is about control over stuff. So that's the problem. He got over using, Davy Boy Smith Jr. I mean, I have a picture of him. Me and Jacob got to meet him.
Well, the thing is, it's like there's nothing wrong with him using his dad's name as well because it's a legacy, because he carries it. He's not making a name off his dad's name, even though it's part of his gimmick and mystique about him. But he backed it up, like the work he does in the ring and everything he's done in the past. He lives up to that. So it's not just riding on the coattails of the British Bulldog. It's like he did as much as he can to encapsulate that and make it his own.
Right.
So there's no reason why you couldn't or shouldn't let him do the same now. Just keep him as David, because that's what here. Davy Boy Smith, the British Bulldog in the late 80s, early 90s. That man deserved a bit more than what he got. I thought if the timing was right and his condition was better, he might have been WWE champion at one point.
Yeah.
And you know what? His son could have done something similar if they'd done the right thing with him as well. It's just carrying that on. That's something that's like you never see it. You never see that sort of stuff. Like it would have been great to see like Harry Smith just take on the mantle, and you've got the new generation of the British Bulldog, and it just carries on. Like someone takes it on, and maybe his kids takes it. David Hart Smith, he was saying, was the name.
Thanks, Wolfers. And
it was just like, like I want that. I like that. It makes me feel good about being a wrestling fan. That I'm like, I remember his dad, and his dad was great, and you're doing good too. Those little things really would matter.
It does, especially with marketing and getting over. You need to. It's okay to rely on nostalgia. Hey, Jerome Hall, it's good to see you, my man.
Good afternoon, my friend.
Good
afternoon, my friend. How we doing?
Yes. So it's to me, I think that's sometimes where I struggle with this. Like they don't lean on Natalia's history with the family. They don't lean on Tamina's, and I get why not Tamina's, because you have that whole story of did Jimmy
kill the murder thing.
Yeah. So I can understand that a little bit more, but like they do that a lot of times with other stars who have a legacy. They don't really like build on that,
They tend to make it jokey from what I see, and like they take a bit more of the humor out of it, and it's like the $1 Million Man, like Ted DiBiase's son done it, and it was like, okay, he wasn't going to be Ted DiBiase. He did all right.
Yeah,
he kind of picked up the slack, and he had a nice. It was similar to what Davy Boy Jr. did. It was like he took on the mantle, and he made it his own, and pushed it forward, and then all of a sudden it stopped, and it was weird because they could have done a lot more with that. I don't know. Like you think these sort of things, Vince would be all over, but then you get into the brain of the man, and it's like he hates it.
Right.
You can never work him out. Funny that.
Yeah, because we start the show.
The weirdest thing of the night starts the night.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, you get the "Are we ready?" and everybody, and then the crowd. Here's the thing. Once again, this is where I'm going to say this right now because it goes throughout the night. This is where Pat McAfee is making his money. The whole night, feeding off the crowd. And I guarantee you, he made Michael Cole better. Michael Cole came in
100%, because the opener, the cold opener that had Michael Cole there, he sounded devoid of human emotion.
Mm-hmm.
That is no exaggeration. He literally read everything off the script, and it was not. You could not notice it. It was clear as day. And if you saw, and without seeing the camera, you would kind of know. Like It's like, hello, welcome back. The first time we've had fans, we've missed you. He actually said it with that internet of "we've missed you." At least try. At least have some realism to it. Like, you must have enjoyed having a crowd there. Like, you can speak from the heart at that a little bit, you know. But never mind, no one did. Pat did. Thank God for Pat, because after all of that weirdness, Vince McMahon comes out, banging. The place goes nuts. The place goes bananas. They're all singing the theme.
And I mean, and here's the thing: you hear that song. I don't care who you are, whether you like Vince McMahon or not. It's a damn good song. It is so good, and you're gonna want to sing it. And I mean, he just comes out. I mean, the biggest babyface pop I think I've ever heard him have in forever.
All the heat.
Yeah,
took all the heat.
Yeah, and it's like, then you get that song, no chance in hell. I mean, and everybody's singing it and going crazy. Going. Yeah, he got the strut going, the just classic Vince McMahon walking out, and you're thinking, whatever.
He was looking lean though as well.
Yeah, that suit looked really big on him. But then he says, "Where the hell have you been?
Where the hell have you been?"
And then he walks out. Just the most Vince McMahon thing ever. Takes a bow, and then
he just takes a bow and leaves. And the actual confusion is palpable because everyone's
like, wait, what just happened? Like,
because you have that sort of, where the hell you been? Whoa, where's it going?
What happened? I don't know if you saw this ahead of time, but they had Triple H and Stephanie out taking pictures with fans.
Yeah, they were like taking photos with everyone and stuff like that. It's like they were sucking that in. They were
right outside before the show started. And it's like some of them. I saw some of it was like it's almost like the people didn't want the picture and they were in the picture anyway. There was some.
It's like, let me take it. I'll take that picture. No, thanks. I'm looking for it. No. I'm taking this picture.
Hey, we're taking this picture. Like, you're not saying no to Triple H. He's gonna
say, do you know who I am? I run this company. If you don't take this photo, you're barred. Come on, then.
Yeah. I mean, it's just So
I was like photo op city as well, because it had like it says it all right when they're in that. Bet they're getting photos of people and they've got their own photographers taking the photos of them being with the fans. Like, Instagram's not enough for you, man.
Yeah. Apparently not.
How many fans were in there? About 12,000 or something like that?
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, that's what they
said. 12,000 people get a photo with you. You surely you could get something out of that, right?
Yeah. Let's see real quick. Toyota Center in Houston, Texas.
Good photo with a kid, and then ask the parents, "Hey, do you mind if we put this on our social media? That'd be cool."
Let's see.
What the effort, voice? It's harder than you're making it. Really.
Okay, so Michael Cole said sold out last night. It says 18,055. The arena can seat 18,104 for basketball games, 17,800 for ice hockey games, and 1930 for concerts. So I would classify this as a concert. I doubt there were 19,000 people at that show.
No, they would have like cut it by maybe half or just over half, just for like COVID sanctions and restrictions that they'll put. Sounds like they're putting in place.
Texas. You can't do that in Texas. The governor has said you cannot, limit or do anything like that.
But then, could WB not do that on their own right? Because they plan out their own stadium and arena.
If they want to pay fines, yeah,
maybe. Because obviously down there the rules would be different, so you wouldn't have to legally do any restrictions. But I suppose because they're trying to do their own thing. But I totally agree. It's no one's going to sell it. They sold out, fair play. But I'm looking. There it is. You just read my bloody mind, mate. You read it. Yes.
Wolfer's on it.
Back in business, baby.
Yeah, he's making that money.
That is the real deal there. When you're just sort of like, game on, guys, game on. But Ben's gonna be happy, Mm-hmm. Good thing. He's looking at this Realm deal. That's all going great. Now the Tart Emporium's open again.
Yeah,
he's gonna be buying himself a boat sometime soon.
I'm on a boat.
I'm on a boat.
So the weirdest opening ever, I think, of SmackDown, when you have Vince McMahon come out and say, "Where the hell have you been?" 6 words and walks out. Has Vince McMahon ever said 6 words and just walked back out and never been there?
It seemed like it was our decision to not be there.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we put screens up because he decided not to come. What's going on, guys?
It's just like, in all my life, in all this time of watching wrestling, never have I seen so little Vince McMahon on the TV screen for his own product. And he walks out, says 6 words, and goes back. I'm going,
he's gone.
What? Okay. I mean,
it's the weirdest thing.
But it's almost like Vince knows now nobody wants to see him, but it's been so long that, I mean, how can you not?
We do want to see him.
It's been so long because I mean, if you did not hear that pop was massive. How do you not just start playing with that going, oh, listen to this pop. I need to like be out here, say something. And I don't know if he was going to actually, like, it felt like he didn't really want to say anything. And he just came up with like on the side going, Do
you think he had like a thing where it was like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something to the crowd. It's going to be great. And it's just totally off the cuff. And then he goes out and his mind just went,
yeah.
Everything left him. And he went, where the hell you been?
And then walks around and turns around.
And
he bows and walks out. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. But at the same time, isn't that also so Vince McMahon? Isn't that so Vince McMahon of how to do that? You know,
this is the other thing. He could totally be dicky with this.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, totally.
He totally can. Didn't he cut a beautiful promo during WrestleMania? Welcome. He did. He cried. The man cried.
He did. And then Sonic, right after that, Sonic. He's so old. He could probably only remember. Oh boy, you gentlemen. Already this morning.
I love this show.
Yeah, y'all are the best. I love you guys so much.
But all right, so it was a weird opening.
It was,
and then for me, it got a bit weirder because then the main event happened for sure. Roman Reigns and the Usos versus the Mysterios and Edge.
Yeah. Like did here's my thing though. Last week, did they set that up? I mean, I know the Edge came out and then but did they say they were going to have a match this week? Because I don't remember that. I just remember Ray and them having Edge's back, and then all of a sudden we're now having a match and going, oh yeah, I know y'all are all wrestling on Sunday, but
let's just have at it now.
We're gonna have you go ahead and do that today.
Didn't even do like a promo or anything. It was just like, hey, you come. Mysterios come out, Edge comes out, Jay attacks Edge, and the match kicks up. Quite a quick match as well. I was very surprised.
Yeah, I thought, okay, they're going to give this match some time.
5 minutes, half an hour, easy money.
Easy. Okay, banger of a start because you got live crowds back. Let's get this going. Let's let them have at it and just have a good run with this thing. Let's give them a good 15, 20 minutes. You could have easily pulled 15, 20 minutes for this thing to start your show. Just imagine what that would have been like. And you got McAfee raising the game of Cole, and they're going. I think I heard Michael Cole said it's about damn time we're back, or something like that. I think
that was at the beginning. He had like no emotion. He's like, it's about damn time.
Well, that's the only thing I think he had emotion. Then everything else was like the way he said that. Because then, I would agree with that. It did, but because I feel like McAfee chimed in on that and then kind of got Cole up. And then after that, he just kind of read again. And then you have Cole, who I don't feel was as scripted as much. That's where I'm like, okay, like McAfee felt
that is the insight of the insights.
Nice. Oh, Jerome, you're great, my man.
Oh boy.
So I like in a way, I thought, okay, this is a great way to kick it off. You got fans back, get it going, but then because you got pop.
Like I don't know, like for me, the weird thing about it was that Edge dominated almost all of the match.
Right.
There was like no heat. Like you thought this is the kind of match where you want Reigns and the Usos to get all the heat, and then they get the baby face like it was begging for a hot tag.
Right.
We never really got it. We got like some good back and forth action, and then Edge came in and decided to open clinic.
Yeah.
Wreck house on everyone.
Right.
Which was fair. I think they're trying to. I know they're trying to make Edge seem strong for Money in the Bank, which is okay, totally fine. But let's not kill our main event theme too much. Yeah,
I know.
Up on that. Not cool. I was a bit like. I felt like it's that traditional. Whoever wins isn't winning next.
Right.
Pay-per-view and all that. But,
right. Yeah. Exactly. That's what I was thinking. It goes back to that. I was like, all right, well, we figured out that Edge is not winning. So,
yeah.
You know,
even though this is weirdly out of the title matches now, this is the only one. This is the one of the two that's fair game for the other guy to win. Because of, can we quickly talk about Goldberg?
Yeah, let's talk about Goldberg. Quietly.
He's coming back.
No.
It's Bobby Lashley. And it's SummerSlam for the title.
No. We're not putting this out in the universe, James. I don't know. You didn't. That's why we're not talking loud. You did not assume.
Brock's cut meat with the ponytail. It's over. He's got.
No. We're not talking about this.
How much money you got, Vince? Just throw the money at Brock. Just throw all that money.
Yeah.
I don't care how much it is. You just throw it all. Every penny to Brock.
Yeah. Even though he's wearing a ponytail and still looks like a badass, and he would,
Yeah. By the way, I was up for that. By the way, see Brock Lesnar with the ponytail. I was like, this is the look. He's coming back.
He looks stupid scary. I'm like, even with the ponytail, like you see some people with a ponytail, like, okay, ponytail. You see him with a ponytail, like, I'm not fucking with that dude. Like, it's like, oh my god, like, nope, I'm not. Yeah. No, I don't like this. Nope, something. Nope.
I'm not up for having a spear versus spear main event, then followed by the next pay-per-view with a spear versus spear main event.
Yeah.
And not a good. Bobby deserves better. You know what? There was someone threw out the idea that could have been was that Big E wins Money in the Bank, Kofi beats Bobby, but then Big E cashes on Kofi, and I was like, oh,
that would be good.
It's a spicy meatball. It's that opens up a big old can of worms, and if they've got the guts, they maybe do it. But Goldberg instead, like
no, it's not happening.
You could have had. Oh no, I don't even.
Jim, stop putting this out there. It's not happening. I
hope not. I pray, and I hope I look to the skies. I look to the great wrestling gods above and say, "Do not make this match happen, please." I can't. I just can't not watch.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the first match of the card where it was just Edge put on a clinic, and then, but no, wait, actually, no, the Usos and Roman Reigns won it because of the roll up.
Oh, that's right, the roll up.
Yeah, because
the most dangerous move in WWE.
Yeah, because Ray was getting it going on, and then was it like I thought that like Jimmy hit Ray with something, and that's how Jay got the roll up. But then it was just like a big right hand. It's like
no, I thought Ray had it and they rolled him up, but then I can't remember if it's Jimmy or Jay. I have a problem with that. Grab the tights, and that was the.
They made it easier for you though.
Yeah,
like Jay dyed his hair. It made it easier.
Yeah, I like, but still, I'm not necessarily paying that much attention to it. It's whatever. It's peripheral to me. I know I'm a moron and just whatever, but from what I remember, it was Ray had rolled up, but then they reversed it. And then one of the Usos grabbed the tights.
Yeah, that was it. You kind of just the old chestnut, but it didn't matter because then Edge decided to just kill everyone. Yeah. Although I did like Reigns getting involved, doing the whole break the chair to do the crossface stuff to Edge. And then instantly have it turned on him. Although I think what I had to giggle at was that see every time Edge has broke the chair to get that pole in, the pole's been like perfectly straight, like
right.
Point. But then when Reigns done it, it bent in the middle, and part of me was just like Edge. Almost wanted to think that Edge was raging because Reigns done it wrong.
No, what it is because they're gimmicked. And so. And so Roman just got the wrong chair that wasn't gimmicked. That's the problem. Because I mean, if you look at it, the way he does that and he hits it,
he
was
sort of like
Roman.
rattled it, didn't he?
Yeah, the way Roman did it that time with the bend in the middle. That's what should happen in real life, you know. And that's just to show that Edge is using some kind of gimmicked, chair, for that. And so, but then again, too, who wants to pick? I can't even remember Jimmy or Jay in their dying hair and stuff now. So I'm a moron. What do I know? Hey, what do they say? Admitting is the first step. So
yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Non-tolerance to twins.
Yeah. No. And I mean, I guess part of that for me goes back to like with Jimmy in the DUI, and I have no tolerance for that. And so, it just, to me, I struggle with watching him on the screen because it's like, here this dude is a 4th time DUI, and it is, he's on the screen in main event settings.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're reading stuff saying, oh, well, they lobbied for it because he's in the main event thing. And, like literally Roman Reigns said something to Vince about it. And
that was it, wasn't it? He got into their ear and just said, look, can we not punish him? Let's just help him out. So how long does that get? How many passes do they get with that, though? That's the other thing. Now, as you say, 4 DUIs into this point. So it's going to be, he's got to get a lot of goodwill. He's got to earn some goodwill from a lot of people.
Exactly.
And as I say, part of it's down for being in a spot as well because of the position they're in. It's like you couldn't exactly just ditch him right there.
I mean, I understand that, but I mean, you could explain it. You could do something. And that's okay. And go back to the dynamic you had with Jay as the right-hand man. They do a betrayal thing or something, and he's off the show because he's been hurt. And go that route, rather than, it feels like he's being rewarded for bad behavior rather than taken care of and facing responsibility for his actions, honestly. And that's my biggest struggle with it. And so that's why I struggle with who they are, because I'm like, I just see one and I see the other and I think, well, they both make poor decisions because they both have. And
then I think the other problem with it is WrestleMania. So the chat going is this whole thing is like a big part of WrestleMania going into this next year. So they want that as airtight as possible. Now that means that he's going to get a free pass, and then if it goes by, is that when he gets punished? Are they going to hold on to that for 8 months to get over the line? I can't see it happening.
Right.
You're probably right. You could probably get rid of them for a month or 2, get him through his thing, do the DIY. Here we go. He's got a good point there. If you get a DUI, you're down. DUIs, you're going to jail. Things just decided to go banana again.
I agree with Jerome with this one. Jerome, this is what we said. This is what I said last week. That 3, first time I can understand. Second time, by the third, no. And by the fourth, you definitely should not be. That. Exactly.
It's too much. It's just
Sonic says the same thing. After all these, how does he? He still have a driver's license or his car? Hey, hey, Sonic.
Does not have like a point system.
Yeah.
That's what we do in the UK. We do, if you get 3 points on your license if you're caught
and
speeding.
Some states do that, some don't. Texas, we don't have that. But Sonic, at the end of the day, remember money. At the end of the day, money makes the world go round, and you can make that.
Dude. Come on, man.
Wow.
That's sinister.
Canada Spaceman is just bringing the heat today. He is got it. So okay. So we've talked a lot about that opening match, which was, I think it could have been a good opener. I think they left a lot on the table. That's I think we can agree on that. There was more they could have done, and more that they could have pulled out of this, but with this, it's what we got to start the show, which wasn't a bad start. I didn't mind not having talking going on. I didn't mind that we didn't have any of that, So
it was a hot opener, and it was like for me, it was kind of weird because considering the kind of the match that we did get to close the show,
right.
I wasn't necessarily agreeing with it. Well, on paper, I didn't agree with it until I saw what I saw. But we can talk about that there.
Right.
Edge just recaps what he did, and he says, "I wish you could make Sami Reigns tap out like a bitch just now would make it easier this Sunday, but it won't." Seth Rollins decides to come up and laugh it away. Says Edge can't beat Reigns, and then Rollins says he's going to win Money in the Bank and finish what he started 7 years ago. And I was like, okay,
yeah,
SummerSlam match made. I think I'm quite liking that. I know someone. So I think they kind of. I can't remember what I saw, but they were touching on. They wished that they were hoping. Well, they wished they were hoping, but they were hoping that they were going to touch on this because the last time these two interacted beforehand was like when Edge was injured and Rollins practically held him hostage.
Right.
So that was.
And I got to be honest with you. When he entered the screen and interacted with Edge, I was like, I kind of want this. I didn't realize I wanted it. But then this is what I was talking about last week, where like, we had all these Money in the Bank. I guess you want to call them play-in matches, but it was all the rivalries. We didn't mix anything up, and that was I'm like, why couldn't we have had
nice neat little package? It was nice and tidy. This one, it was nice and tidy.
But I did like it, and it was like okay, cool, and of course, the 4-way at the end is all the winners. Which once again, hey, we know you're going to be wrestling in a ladder match, Money in the Bank ladder match on Sunday, but why don't you go ahead and get out there and wrestle each other right now
with ladders?
With ladders.
Good luck, guys.
I'm sure they're thinking,
great.
Yeah.
Although I will say, Rollins had a strong night for me tonight.
He did.
He had a really good strong night. That promo he did with Edge was really good, and then later on, we'll talk about it in the forward. I thought I did great. The start of the match was
this was definitely a strong promo for Rollins. But also, I mean, Edge did a great job with this too. Like you had two strong personalities going right here, and it made you go, "There's money right here. I really, 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 really want to see this." And that is what a good promo should do. Is especially if you've got two people, and this is kind of a cold promo between the two, rekindling something from, like you said, 7 years ago. And it was that kind of idea of we're doing this and we have these two coming together. And it's like, okay, no, this is what I want. This is what I'm looking for. Yeah. And we go, all right, I like this. This is something I can get down on. So, to me, that is what a good promo should do. That's how it should work. And any other thing, it's just you're talking to talk, and you're not advancing anything. Yeah. So this was good. I like this. I would say if I would rate this one, this was high up. This is high marks for me here. It was strong,
very strong, and I'm looking forward to seeing what these two do. The next one was quite fun too. Set up another fun matchup for it. Maybe not as like high profile as Edge and Rollins, but I'm cool. Sami Zayn came out, and I quite enjoyed this. He came out, he talked about being held back from the Money in the Bank thing, but now he's got the most important thing he needed, and that's the fans. Right. And they cheered, which is sad because they're supposed to boo.
I know. And this is where we start to see where WWE is doing. They're still kind of. And I don't know if they're doing it in the arena, but they are sweetening the sound on Fox. Because you could hear the cheers, but then you heard some boos, and I'm like, there are not a lot of as many people booing as there are cheering right now. I should not be hearing, these boos.
Yeah, because this is going to be like a challenge you're going to have. We'll talk about it next week. Is that there's some genuinely entertaining people that appeared, like Sami Zayn, that appeared during this pandemic period. When he comes to do more stuff, because he's been so entertaining, people will want to see him, and they'll likely just want to have a bit of fun with it as well.
Yeah,
and they did exactly that. Since when did heels begin to kiss the fans' asses to give us the finger? A long time ago, annoyingly, about the mid 2000 period, kind of
the cool heel, cool heel thing. Really, the cool heel started with the NWO.
Oh, there it is.
It really did. The cool heel. So,
and it's like Good point. I want to hate you, not like you. Hope you're not saying that to me, no Noddy. I hope you're not saying that to us.
Yeah. You want me to go heel right now? No Noddy? There you go. How about that?
I dare you step in this ring. I dare you step on this podcast.
Yeah.
But it was quite like, for me, I had a good giggle, but it was like everyone cheering because they were like, yay, Sammy, woo. It's like, no, be fun. But he come out, he talks about his conspiracy. He's got the fans now. It's undeniable. They've seen his struggle. They've seen what he's did. And then the music hit.
You got excited. I know you did.
I kind of got excited. Well, I kind of got waves. I was reading that he was going to show up. I didn't know how he was going to show up.
You got a chubby. You got a
little bit. Hey, he's got a bit of a chub going as well. You got to admit, he's got it going on there. But out he came, Finn Balor, Prince Finn Balor, or whatever it was going to be. Yeah. Came out and smiled. No, don't smile. Maybe I think there was a thing where he was smiling, but he was trying not to smile.
Right.
He was obviously trying to keep his like cool guy persona from NXT.
But you can't do that.
Buzzing.
Well, when that crowd popped so hard, and I mean, like they said, it's been 2 years since he's been on, the main roster and SmackDown, and so.
But what if he did though? If he just kept it calm, cool, collected, like proper fawns, like how he was when he was in NXT, like man, like I'm not saying it wasn't good. I think it was really good, but this would have just taken it up just an extra level because you can see he's trying to do it, but he just can't keep the emotion down because he's got that big grin. He's sort of like
But no, and that's the moment because let's be honest,
you got a weird
Sammy's the heel, So as the baby face, he should be soaking this in, going.
How dare you, Sonic the Hedgehog? How dare you?
Yes.
That's why we watch Finn Balor matches these days, surely. So, no, just me? Okay. All right. No worries. What are we talking about again, boy?
Yeah. So, I think personally, I think it would have been better if he would have taken it. It would have been that cool, yeah, I'm here for you guys. Yeah. Like, bring it in. Come on. Yeah. Kind of thing. And then, he turns around and smacks the crap out of Sammy. So.
Oh, he hit that weird sort of DDT thing, the nice little drop kick, and the coup d'etat.
Man, that thing was rough every time. I don't care who you are. It looks rough every time.
Because he used to be brilliant at it. Because he used to get high. You know who was the best for it? You know who was the absolute best for it? Low key. Because he used to just launch and he used to do that as he did it and just. And it just looked amazing every time. Whereas now, when Balor does it, it's just sort of like you don't really see much height. You just see the sort of traveling from the ring post to the floor, and then that's it.
Like, to me, it looks like a senton that doesn't quite get there.
Yeah, he's half in it, isn't it? He's just. It's like, I don't want to break this guy's ribs. You want to make it look like he broke his guy.
Exactly.
That's what made it so good. Because he used to do it great before. So I don't know if something's happened where something's happened and he's injured someone and he's got fear.
Right.
He's now worried that if he does something again or he tries something, it's going to injure them again. Like, who knows? Like Kurt Angle had that weird moment after he broke Bob Holly's arm doing a moonsault. Right. So he got over it and he did amazing moonsaults for the rest of the time. So,
but let's be honest, when you're an athlete like that, especially in a sport where your job is to take care of the other person, I can understand where that can get in your head. You think you're safe, you think you're doing the right things, and you do this move 100 times, and all of a sudden you've broken a guy's arm or his ribs or ruptured a spleen or something because of it. And man, I can see that. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I played football, American football. My senior year, we're playing a team. We had played them in the regular season, so we're facing them again in the playoffs. And, I wasn't dirty. I wasn't anything. I played whistle to whistle. But when I was on that field and you played, I was going to give you everything I got. And I was a linebacker. So, I was those guys just trolling and just trucking people left and right. Me and a friend of mine, we smacked the guy hard, broke his leg, and it didn't affect me one bit. Got up, whatever, and just kind of, did a little stone cold, like head nod like that and got back to the huddle. Guys just on the ground, they had to haul him off because he got a broken leg. And we're like,
You
okay.
do? What? Hit the tackle? What?
Yeah.
You on the ground? What? You gonna
What?
What?
I hear you screaming, but what? What? You know,
You're pathetic.
Yeah, I mean, it just, it didn't affect us at all. I mean, I'm a nice person. If I did that in real life, it would be different. But but football is a sport where you're not supposed to take care of the other person. You're supposed to hit the person. You're supposed to make them punish. You're supposed to punish them for crossing that line with that ball to keep them from the end zone. And so with this sport, it's different because you're working in partnership with the other person, even though you've got this contest where you're supposed to be fighting each other looking like, and nice. And well, technically we were still in high school, but it's Louisiana. So, I mean, we probably could have given, Louisiana probably wouldn't
like, we start drinking at the age of 12 or whatever,
I know.
Not legally, but we
I mean, yeah. So I think to me, it's more of, that's the aspect, the mindset. Even though you're doing this thing, you're supposed to make it look like a fight and there's a winner and loser. You're working in partnership with that other person. You have to trust them. And that's hard to do when you've done something that you think and all of a sudden you've hurt somebody. I mean, I'd be gun shy, I think that's really hard to get over, and the only way you can keep doing it is if you keep doing it, and it's going to be in the back of your head though. So, I can understand it. I can understand why he would be a little hesitant. It's sad that it's the case because, he was so good at that thing and making it look real. I loved it because he would jump off, have his legs out, and then bring him in and look like he was about to really stomp the shit out of somebody and made it look great every time. But, I get that. You want to be safe and you're doing, and it was WWE too. They probably told him to knock it off, to be safer with it and stop being as dangerous. So there could be that aspect as well.
If you are going to take the sting out of it or take the sort of imagery from it, then I think you need to change what you do. It sounds really cool, but you know what? It's like I'd rather keep it as it is, or change it completely rather than lose the essence and the vision.
Right.
That's what makes a great finisher is how it looks and what it does. So once you take that away, it just doesn't have the same pop. It doesn't have the same sort of whoa factor. So I think I don't know. Maybe it was just tonight. Maybe we won't see a better one down the line. It was just that one moment. I was just a bit unsure of that one. Mm-hmm. Just as we're about to move into the next match as well, I'm just going to bring up a comment that was brought up. It was a really good point. They're bringing a lot of NXT talent up to SmackDown after they fired a lot of people the past year. I mean, they've really been. There's a big switch around going on. We know about Aaliyah moving up to Raw. The next match, Tegan Nox and Shotzi Blackheart had another tag match. Finn Balor's coming back up. We know Tony Storm's coming back up, and I think it's next week, 23rd, or just after.
Yeah, next week. Yeah.
Yeah, so we know that there's a lot going on in that regard. I suppose it's worth noting that a lot of these releases at the time they happen, this is what NXT's here for as well, is when the eventuality where someone leaves or they're reshuffling, talent has to come up. You have to fill the gaps. You can't not fill the gaps a little bit. And I think this is a good time to do the filling of the gaps here. And, we've got SmackDown's looking really good now. When you think about it, Finn Balor's coming up, some great matches you could have in that picture right there. Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox, I think it's a breath of fresh air. I really do. I'm quite happy seeing them. Tony Storm, not too sure how I feel about Tony Storm yet because I think they did her a bit dirty in NXT recently, but I think we can get something out of her. So there's more to come. I think we've still got a lot more people that are going to make the bounce out. David Hart Smith possibly coming back onto WWE TV. Some other guys who did some dark matches. It seems to be the way they're putting people through dark matches and then they're picking and choosing based on how well they've done. So, but it's interesting to see that we're getting a nice influx of talent because we've got Finn Balor coming back. He's coming back fresh again, strong. He's not going to be kind of mudded by what happened years ago. We've got a new Finn Balor, which has been protected and molded, and Karrion Kross got his hands on him and tore him to shreds. You'll love to see it.
Yeah. And I got to agree with Jerome Hall. There are some that are coming up from NXT. It's like, are they ready? I think that's a good question.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
would say Toni Storm. Yes, she's been around the world. She's been a premier women's talent for a very long time. I would say that Toni Storm is easily somebody who could do that. Aaliyah, I've only seen her with the Robert Stone brand and stuff like that, and honestly, I haven't been as impressed.
She's been about for a while as well. Like,
Yeah.
remember Breaking Ground when they did that documentary, which was really good at the time.
Was it?
You had like the likes of Baron Corbin, Carmella, Enzo and Cass. I think the Four Horsewomen were there originally. Aaliyah was like just coming in, but it was sort of telling our story of like becoming like the new person, learning how to get their head around a gimmick, learning how to work. So she's been there for a long, long time.
Right.
So I suppose this is it. This is sink or swim for her. Like they've invested this time and the money on doing it, and she's not a bad worker by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, I just haven't seen anything that clicks or anything because she's been like a lot lately with that Robert Stone brand stuff, and so so I'll be interested to see how that works. I mean, Karrion Kross could easily move up, not a problem.
Yeah,
that guy is just money. I think let's be honest. If they really wanted to, they could move Samoa Joe back up. That wouldn't be an issue.
I think they could have, but I think now they go through this injury phase, don't you? We've had a bad injury, so we're going to keep you safe. And I think NXT is a good place for Joe.
Yeah, no, I like him there, and I like him being the right hand man of William Regal. I think it's great. I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying if they were in a spot and they really needed to, they could. I don't see, and that's because that's the thing. I don't see Gargano. I don't see Ciampa being people who can come up. I don't see that
because they're so embedded into the brand now as well. Yeah. It's like they're the consequence of their own success. That's the side effect of it all, where they've done so well that you can't not have them there now. Otherwise, it's just going to be what's NXT. It's like their identity is in that there. And then, they go to the main roster, they'll never reach that point again. They'll never go they'll never main event shows. It's a harsh thing to say, but when you look at the pyramid of how WWE book their shows and who's on top and everything like that, it is so fucking hard to get to the top of the card. Like, you look at people who are like Cesaro, Big E, they've been swinging around and they've done really well for a while.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
But a lot of these people are taking years just to get close, just getting near enough,
Right.
So it's an uphill battle. And I would imagine that even your top stars, like your Ganos, Ciampas, I hate to say it, but Karrion Kross is in that danger zone as well. I really hope they just kind of put the foot down on him, just don't mess about. Just as soon as he comes up, get him up there. Just don't mess him. Just don't put him through these little weird mid-cardy things. Just get him up there. Because as soon as you do that, they're going to make mistakes with him. And I don't want it to happen. He's a character. He's got his presence. He does it all right. Just get him up there. But there's so many other talents that you could say that have been in that position, and they just are set. Yeah. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, or John Moxley now, they were like the kind of antithesis of it, because it was the early days of NXT. It was still going. It was still starting it up. So they got out at the right time because they get all the Shield stuff and then they launched off.
Right.
But now, because it's its own thing, because they've spent all that time competing with AEW, they want it to be their own brand and sell things. It's development. It's NXT's developmental, but it's not quite developmental anymore as well. It's
it's a multi-layered development. You got entry-level developmental within NXT, then you've got house show developmental level NXT, and then you've got proper show NXT. And let's be honest, Karrion Kross, though, he's got money. You bring him up. You bring him up. You have to be complete and utter moron to kill that guy.
Yeah. See, when you watch remember Rocky 3?
Yeah.
Clubber Lang just murders everyone, and then it's like Rocky's a guy who even after he murdered Rocky after that thing, it's like, my prediction is pain.
Yeah.
You could do almost exactly the same thing with Karrion Kross. Go from WrestleMania to WrestleMania, murder, bam, 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 kill. You make him an absolute destroyer, a la Brock Lesnar, and you could potentially do a Brock Lesnar and have him main event WrestleMania. Like, how Lesnar, Lesnar started just after WrestleMania 18.
Right.
Smash, 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 smash. Wins King of the Ring. Smash, smash. Beats The Rock for the title. Smash, smash. Heyman leaves Big Show. Smash, 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 smash. Royal Rumble. Smash, smash, smash. WrestleMania main event. Broke his neck, but he won it. Cool. But you know what I mean? Like that's the blueprint that you could do with Karrion Kross, but no babyface turn. Just have him smash and ruin, just destroy. So when it gets to WrestleMania, you could put him in this main event with like a Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Someone like that, or an Edge, if you want to give Edge a ride out into the sunset moment, and you have Karrion Kross just wreck him. Made man. I mean, he's already going to be if you did it that way, the right way up to that point, he's already going to be a main man by Mania. But then you do that, okay.
Yeah.
Let's set up and pay attention to this guy. He is the real deal. And then if you want it, you can set up your next baby face to rise up. He'll be the guy to take the pin. And you know what? I think I'd love this. I just, just get with Karrion Kross, just kill people for a year.
Yeah.
Get him in the main event.
I think it'd be good. All right. So that's good. Let's talk about the next thing that happened here, which was, I think you alluded to, was Shotzi.
Oh, yeah, bruh. Yeah, bruh. Yeah, bruh. Yeah, bruh. It's like, that's you right now, bruh.
Nope.
Notice how I jumped straight to commentary there, because that's all that I could really take in this match.
This was and the sad part was it was a decent match, and then it had to have Zelina and Liv. I swear, I think of everybody, the most grating voices that they could have.
Although it was quite funny though that Zelina Vega did the impression of Liv Morgan and nailed it, because I thought Liv was talking at the time. I didn't realize it was Zelina talking. I was like, because as soon as she first said, Liv was like, "What was that supposed to be? Me?" Yeah,
it was pretty spot on too. Damn it,
shit.
Yeah.
So this is all just set up Money in the Bank, and also giving Tegan Nox and Trish Blackheart another win.
Which apparently they said Tamina's getting a Money in the Bank shot.
Yeah, she's there. She's in the match.
Yeah,
they just booked her.
Yeah,
SmackDown's done it really weird this time around.
Yeah,
you're in.
You had four guys or 8 guys in blood feud matches fight each other in those blood feud matches to determine who gets into the Money in the Bank match. And the girls, you had Sonya Deville come out and announce them, and Liv would interrupt them and beat them and say for the Money in the Bank match, but she wouldn't get that until finally Liv had won the next match. Just so we're fine. You get to go in because Carmella is going to go for the title because of injury. I wish we didn't have the whole distraction angle with Zelina Vega. How is it? And explain to me. I don't understand. This is the logic again of WWE. Understand? So Shotzi and Tegan pin Tamina and Natalya last week, right? They have another match again this week. Same teams wrestling each other. How is it not for the title?
Yeah. That should be lined up right there and then.
Yeah, you pinned the champs. Why are we not having a match for the title right there?
I mean, if you're gonna have a total shock moment on a card on a night like this is the time to do it. This is it would have been a big pop shock moment. You could set up a little bit of it, because you just go at it after to set up Money in the Bank. That would be some good, a little bit of nice tweaking storytelling. I know you don't want to kind of give someone a title too soon, but we've already established that the women's tag titles are just there. Even though Natalya and Tamina thoroughly deserved it by the time they won it, but they've not really done too much of that after.
Yeah.
So give it a go. But it's little things like that. We're nitpicking a little bit in that, and I can appreciate that. But at the same time, it could be more. This is why people are tuning into AEW more and not watching Raw and stuff like that. Don't do the little things. Good point, actually. Grant said that wrestling should be viewed as a sport, so show me that. Do not waste my time on words. Yeah, I kind of half agree and half not, because the wrestling these days has been just turned into a soap opera and all that. But that's because Vince blew the game wide open to save his bacon.
Yeah.
if the steroids thing didn't happen, we'd be well and truly believing what's going on and talk about like this as boxing.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, I think too, even, but even with that, we still want to believe. We still watch it for that reason.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, like yes, as Candace Weisman said, we do have Bludgeon Brothers with those big dumb hammers and things like that. But even let's be honest, even in those moments, we don't care. We watch because we watch, and so we're looking for not just the story outside of the ring. We're looking for the story inside of the ring, and so that's what compels us and moves us forward.
Yeah,
and so which is why we keep coming back. I mean, it's the whole purpose for it. Yeah, are there better places doing it? Other places are doing it better. Yes, I would agree that there are other places doing it better. But it is something that I feel that as fans, even as much as we give stuff shit, we still watch it because we want to believe. As much as we like to think we're smart marks and doing whatever. Dude, I'm probably the biggest mark in the book. I mean, I'm following wrestlers and trying to hang out with them and stuff because I think they're cool. And, I think it's just a, interesting aspect of a path they've chosen for their life of being athletic, doing this wrestling thing, being able to tell a story with their bodies in the rings and with their promos and everything like that. To be this type of actor that you have to be to do something like that is incredibly skilled. And so it is, to me, that's where I'm kind of going, I'm good with this. I don't care. I enjoy it. That's just me. As a matter of fact, what I think I started the show. I don't know if you heard it or not. I may be taking a wrestler to Bucky's before or after the show.
Is that the wrestler? I'm not going to put it on the chat. Is that the wrestler?
No. Here, I'll send it to you in a private chat. It's an independent wrestler.
Oh, okay. I'm getting excited. Look at it's not my Foley, guys. It's not my Foley. Oh well. It was a thought.
I wouldn't do
it. I would have got excited. I would be like, mate, you need to get me on a Zoom call. I want to talk Christmas films.
I would. Hey, if I would do
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, he. By the way, I just private messaged him the wrestler, and he approves. So I'm glad Money MacGyver approves. So all right, so we got that done. We've got set up for the women's Money in the Bank, which once again Tamina just gets all right, here, wrestle this match, but you're gonna wrestle again in the Money in the Bank on Sunday. And by the way, you two just get all catty at each other and fight again. And basic storytelling that did nothing for me to maybe want to watch that part of Money in the Bank or the tag titles or anything. Because once again, we had a team who pinned the champs, but they're wrestling again, but not for the titles, and they pinned the champs again.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be on Money in the Bank, so when are we doing this match?
Looks like we're going to get it next week on SmackDown.
Probably. Again, for 3 weeks in a row.
Or what they'll do is they'll do variants of the singles match. So you'll have Tegan versus Natalia, then Tamina versus Shotzi, then you'll have Tamina and Tegan, then Shotzi and Natalia, and then they'll have like a random, I don't know, it just goes in circles until SummerSlam, doesn't it? But should we talk about the match that's not happening, because this match at Money in the Bank was happening, and that's Carmella and Bianca. I don't really want to talk too much about this match because this was the match I thought should have been the main event, but then we saw it and it was like every other time they faced each other. It didn't really do much for me. You kind of knew what was happening. There was no way Carmella was winning it. There was no real stakes. I think you could just put this in the pay-per-view if you really want to put it on. Like, if you really wanted to do
it. But it wasn't, because let's be honest. As much as people like Carmella, Bianca's way more over. And as long as Carmella's been up there, to me, Bianca, it looks like a better, more polished wrestler than Carmella. Carmella has assets, but those assets aren't wrestling. She's done a great job. She's gotten a lot better, but when you compare her to Bianca, it's no contest. I mean, it just. I think the thing that really sold it for me is in the beginning where Carmella pushes Bianca, and then Bianca pushes her back, and she falls to the ground. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I expect. And then she slaps her, and it's just like, how do you make someone like Carmella, who basically is, model thin with big old fake boobs, how do you make her compare to someone as athletic as Bianca Belair, who just came off an ESPY award win on Friday night with her and Sasha Banks for best wrestling match of the year?
Nice.
So that was I think they announced that last night or this morning. I saw that her and Sasha won for their match at WrestleMania. So. How do you put someone like Carmella up to something like that? I don't know. To me, it just, I was like, are we really doing this? Can we just let's, instead of having the match, why don't we put all these women, why don't we keep Carmella in the Money in the Bank and just make that the thing, make that the focus? I don't know. I struggled with this because I know they're scrambling with it. They're scrambling with it. We got to do something. Bailey got hurt. We were supposed to have this match, but at least it wasn't on the paper.
Yeah, this is the placeholder for getting Bianca over the line till.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing we're going to get Sasha and Bianca too at SummerSlam, because
you would think, but where's Sasha been?
Sasha? That's what got me thinking that, because she's not been there. It'd be a big surprise that she reappears and redoes it. It's literally the only thing that makes any sense
at all.
At all. Like Becky Lynch comes back, but this is the tricky. She comes back like SmackDown. We'd think would make sense, but then Raw needs something, so they'll probably keep her on Raw, and have her feud with probably Charlotte again. Oh my god. Oh, God, again.
I agree with Sonic. I don't know how Carmella got the shot. Well, here's the reason why they're trying to do this whole beautiful women thing. Most beautiful women in WWE. But I think because she was already in Money in the Bank, and even though Liv beat her, and then Sonya Deville says, if you win, you get her spot. But then it turns out the next week that wasn't the case. Yeah. It was okay. It was Zelina Vega. Then, well, if you beat her, you got to beat her, and then she did. And it's like, no, you're not in. It's this whole thing. It's more of a Sami Zayn conspiracy than it is for Sami Zayn. It's just poor booking, poor writing. And I think they felt, of every people on the roster and the SmackDown roster at the time, the most likely to give Bianca a decent shot would be Carmella. She's the most experienced of really the people who aren't in the tag team. Of the singles right now, you had Zelina Vega. She's fresh off just being back. I don't think they would let her do that. Yeah. You had Liv once again, just recently kind of more single, pulled everything out from under her. They got to build her up. Who else is there? There isn't much right now. Toni Storm isn't here yet. She doesn't arrive till next week. So
getting shots here are tag pairings.
They're a tag team. Natalya and Tamina are tags. So of all of everybody left, she's the only one that you can go, okay, well, here you go.
Let's get it out of the way.
Yeah, we're just getting out of the way because we have Money in the Bank. We at least have that ladder match, and we'll make that work from there. Yeah. And that's all they can do because they're so thin in the women's roster, because they haven't done a good job of building other people up. Yeah, and that's the problem.
They do a bit of a reshuffle and fix things. I'll be interested to see. I think once it seems like Becky Lynch is not scheduled, but she's penciled in to be around Money in the Bank. That doesn't necessarily mean she'll be on it or anything, but the word on the street is that she's going to be there at the venue. So maybe starting to set the plan in action for her coming back now. She looks in some serious shape.
Yeah. Well, and Raw's the next day in Dallas. If Money in the Bank is in Fort Worth, Raw's the next day in Dallas. And could you imagine the pops, to see Becky Lynch in Fort Worth and in Dallas back to back 2 days in a row? I mean,
that'll be a way to bring the show back to life again. The mama. the mom.
Yeah,
back.
like I can see, because I think what Charlotte and Rhea are supposed to be facing each other again, right? At Money in the Bank,
Yeah,
isn't that right? I can see, let's say Rhea wins, and then Becky Lynch shows up and pops her from behind to set up a new storyline that way.
yeah. I mean, that'd be fun for SummerSlam. Rhea Ripley and Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch, Bianca and Banks too. I'm down with that.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that. But you never know. We'd have to wait and see. Money in the Bank throws so much up in the air after a night, because you think you have it all planned out, and then they just decide to go, nah, Otis wins Money in the Bank this year. Speaking of, speaking of, I love this promo. Chad Gable and Otis sitting there, Chad talking about like we use all five senses. We see the locker room. We hear the whispering. We feel the tension. What was the other one that we see? We taste the victory.
You're right.
And then what's that smell? What do we smell, Otis? We smell fear.
Yeah. It's very almost like suspense movie, horror movie type moment when they zoom in on him and he says, "We smell fear." You know what I mean? It was kind of that like Cape Fear kind of, serial killer brainwash type thing. I liked it. I really liked it. You see that like Otis has this glazed look on his face and just he doesn't respond to anybody but Chad Gable, and we see all that, and then Cesaro, comes out and kind of.
I'm glad you weren't. I wasn't on your list of people you'd smash.
Yeah,
and then it was like, oh, that's because you are on our list of people to smash. Wow, and like Cesaro came out, looked pretty good, gave it the big in, and then Otis just. What I liked actually is that Chad sort of took a step back.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, you're in Otis's way.
Mm-hmm.
And then Otis looking legit, by the way. Like he throws like a really good hook right into the gut of Cesaro and then just runs into him. I was like, okay, I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm totally cool with that. And it was really good. And then it went into the ring. We got the match, Cesaro versus Otis. More of the same. Like we got a good back and forth. Otis just got his power going. And then Chad tried to be the distractor, causing problems. Cesaro took. It was an odd thing, right? Because Cesaro obviously just kind of got rid of Chad quickly. And then he gets Otis into the post twice. And then Chad just comes up and suplexes him and says, "No one does that, my guy. No one does that to my athlete. No one."
Yeah.
Like you just ruined the match. And then Pat brought out a great point that just summed up this weird thing about them is that you would expect them to win all the time. But then they decide to just beat people up in lieu of winning matches.
Right. Yeah. But I think, yeah, it really is. But I think it goes back to the fact that it's become more than about the Alpha Academy and victory. It's about Chad Gable being that person who can control people and that cultish kind of, mindset. I think that's more of what it is. So I think that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, Otis drinking. That's a good point there from Elizabeth. Welcome to the show. Otis is drinking the Gable cult Kool-Aid.
Yep.
He is a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about a couple of weeks ago how it's got a lot of Foxcatcher vibes. A little bit to it, I'm digging it. I'm digging Otis like this. I want to hear him talk more. Right. I'm very, very, very keen to see him speak very eloquently and very normal. There was just very clinical, eloquent, almost sort of like Christian Bale in American Psycho style, or how he is at the moment. Every word has intent.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, I'm not funny guy. I'm the real deal. I'm serious. I'm a serious person here to serious business because I'm an athlete. I am Otis. I am going to be the best. Like those little things, I think it's going to be great because it was a good, fun match for the whole 2 minutes it lasted. But they're building something with them, and that's what I love about it. They're just making a character, and even when like they did the Vader bomb, it's like for the Academy. Like that little thing, it was very good. They're doing good by them. It's hard to do any proper tag stuff when there's no Street Profits because they got written off by the Alpha Academy,
Mhm.
so Montez Ford can heal injury, heal from surgery for the next few weeks. Mysterios and Usos are doing their thing. There's no one else, so they've got to try
Right.
and pick fights with people. And Cesaro was a great choice to do this out because Cesaro's not doing very much, and maybe he's just dropped a little bit, so it helps Otis bump up a little bit, just give him a little bit more kick to it. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was another one of those things that
I would
happened.
agree. I mean, but at the same time, it's still so intriguing, to see all of it, and that's where I think I kind of like it. At the same time, I know they're not a tag team per se, and then they haven't. I can't remember the last time they wrestled tag. It's been weeks now that they've done it, but at the same time, too,
Yes.
it's intriguing. It really is, and I think this whole I like Otis talking, but I think this is where we're going to get the less is more thing from Otis, and really because we're going to be clamoring for it, and by the time he is talking, we are just foaming at the mouth for it. So it's actually whoever's writing this is doing a really good job with it. I feel catching the whole cult vibes, drinking the Kool-Aid, whatever you want to call it, and then keeping Otis almost a silent monster who responds to Gable when he tells him to do something, and getting him to be that thing that he is. And we see here, once again, this shows how much Otis is dedicated to the character of Otis as he is to the wrestling of Otis. We see that with him that, when he was funny, it worked because he was dedicated to it. When it came to this, now he's dedicated to it and he's serious, and it's still intriguing. He's a character that has charisma and is intriguing. So I'm good for it, man, and I like it, and I just be interested to see where they go from here with it.
Yeah. It was a fun one. I can't.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this isn't the first one and done. Obviously, the suplex and Cesaro will make it give us more time in it there. But yeah, let's see what they can do. Let's push them a little bit. Let's give them a little bit more intrigue. Mix things up a little bit. Maybe get a title pick. Maybe get a title match out of them. You know what? If you want to do a multi-man intercontinental title match, get Otis in there and have him win the title. I think that'll be fun. I think it'll be really good. The right person to have a title, or I suppose the draft's not happening until October. I was going to say if they did like the post SummerSlam draft and you get Otis to Raw and have him win the United States title, then we pop off because it all comes together. Team America, Alpha Academy, United States title, they're the sort of thing that would embody that sort of championship. You know what I mean?
Would they do something as stupid as split Otis and Gable?
No, they can't. No.
We say that, but they did that with the Dudley Boys. I mean,
they did, but bear in mind that the Dudley Boys by this point were like they'd won everything. They were well established. They had like a great run in the what you call it, 2001 with Invasion and all that stuff.
Yeah,
they had the ECW run, so they had a lot behind them. Whereas these two guys have only been together for less than a year.
Yes, but that doesn't mean WWE won't do something stupid like that. It doesn't mean WWE won't just do something stupid like that too. We've seen that before, where we're going, okay, we're doing what again now? Okay, all right, fine. So I don't know. I just hope that they continue this relationship and this storyline. It's been good. So
we can't afford to make mistakes at this stage now.
Yeah, really. Especially because of where we're at with everything. All right, what was the next thing? I forgot at this point.
I'm going to super speed through the next two segments. In fact, we can get through the last few because this is the race to the end now at this point.
Okay.
Paul Heyman came out, cutting a promo a little bit about what Roman Reigns is going to do to Edge, and Big E just shows up.
Yes.
This is a big news. Heyman, don't you dare be sour. So we had a little bit of that action, talked about how Edge whipped Roman Reigns, had a good giggle, and then just backed out round the corner, and that was it. That was a quick little...
which I loved. Once again, that's the Big E I love. Same thing. Guy's a great character, and it was good. You have Paul Heyman doing his thing, and then just Big E just, it in a way, it shows that Paul Heyman is not the person people are afraid of, and they'll mess with him and do the thing. But you have Roman to deal with. You do have that. So I don't know. But Big E, he makes me smile when he comes on that screen. I really like him. He's a good wrestler and a good character.
Yeah, it was good. And then the sadness continues. Oh my God. Baron Corbin back in there having an interview. It's been the most difficult few weeks of his life. He's lost everything, but everyone can help him out of these dark times.
This was the
because he's-
stupidest part of the show.
he started a GoFundMe.
No, Corbin fund me.
Corbin fund me, yeah. It was like a target goal of $100,000. It's like, what are you not getting paid? Oh shit, what have I done? I know what I've done. Things just. Can you still see me? Can you still hear me?
I can still do everything.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? I can still hear you, you piece of cheeky bastard. All right.
I heard that. Right, there we go. All back on the same thing now. What
Yeah.
the fuck happened there? Yeah, so it's like having a GoFundMe, 1,000K a target. It's like, what are you not getting paid for this company? Like, you can't just be. Surely you're getting paid for your effort and your work. Like, what? Like, you're not getting there to get paid nothing. So they did that. Kevin Owens.
Well, apparently, when you get the crown and you're the king, you get extra money that you didn't have. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's how it works in WWE. So just get. What if I just take the damn thing off Shinsuke's head one day, and he's coming out to the ring, and I just take it, and I'm now the king of WWE? Where's my shit? I want my shit. How
you get rich now?
Yeah.
How you get rich? Because like Kevin Owens comes out and Corbin's like, whoa, like I know that you're not the most well paid, but you pay some change, and got stunned for his life. Got stunned for his
well, and he goes, you got influence, you can help them, and he said something like, I know you have money because you don't pay for it in your clothes.
Yeah, that was it.
And that's when.
Oh well, backhanded.
Yeah.
He's not going to do well as a homeless person because he's going to be too busy slagging people off.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
They wear. Now we get to the main event of the night. A bit of a hodgepodge match. Not too. I didn't think it was the greatest match because it was like, guys, you've got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Have a bit of a match. Use the ladders. Lot of ladders. Use them all. Seth Rollins. This is where I thought Seth Rollins kept shining because he had this great moment at the beginning. It was like, you guys fight it out. I'll see you Sunday. Bye bye. And he's just walking out, and then Biggie hits the spear out the ring. I just loved that little moment because it was like you thought you had a moment of genius. Like, I don't mind taking an L here. You guys, you take care of business. Good night. I'm out. I'll see you Sunday. I'm gonna win it. And it didn't matter anyway, because Rollins won anyway. But
yeah.
It was a nice little moment.
Which means surely he's not winning on Sunday. So
I don't even know who's winning Sunday. You know that. That is the one that's well up in the air. I think it should be, if you're going to ask me right now who should win either Money in the Bank, it should be Big E and Liv Morgan. But,
yeah.
Oh, man. And outside of maybe one or two people, like Liv's the front runner for me for that women's one because no one else makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Like for what you're trying to do with anyone, Liv Morgan all the way. The men's one, fucking hell. Good luck. Good luck. Like, who you got? Big E. Who have we got? Big E. Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins,
and Shinsuke.
Shinsuke. You've got Drew McIntyre in there, I think. Who else is in the men's?
I don't know. I only know the SmackDown side, but we can't forget the greatest intro ever that was done. Once again, we did have the appearance of Boogs. Just Michael Cole going. Pat McAfee going nuts. Yeah. Like, oh my God, it cracks me to it just cracks me up to see like Pat McAfee get all that, and my name is Rick Boogs. Yeah, and then he introduces Shinsuke and does the whole guitar thing. It was, I'm gonna be honest. You have Shinsuke, you have Big E. Those are some huge personalities right there.
Yeah.
And that made wanting to start the match for me with those two. I was like, okay, all right, at least they're in here. Right. They have large personalities and they're very personable. But like you said, this didn't feel like a
felt like a match. It just felt like a run into like spots and having like
get your shit. It's just get your shit in. It's just get your shit in.
This is like the break off after a match.
Yeah, I just and like this wasn't main event worthy. I would have put I would have put anything other than this in there. Of our matches tonight, I think, which is sad, this is the weakest one of them, and it was our main event, which is sad. So,
when we look back at it, it all makes sense up until this point where everything is, because you wanted the hot opener, so that's why you got the Roman Reigns stuff in there. You couldn't have Bianca and Carmella main event because we've had it so many times. It wasn't that good a match. Everything else isn't really main event worthy. And then this made sense because it was the 4 guys in the ladder match, but it was just the 4 guys in the ladder match.
Yeah, why not switch the main event in the opener?
You could have, yeah. I think you could, because what you could do is you could have done like a promo, have Big E set it up, get the crowd warmed up a little bit, say we're coming back. I can't wait to win Money in the Bank, and then have Nakamura, have Kevin Owens come out or something like that. Seth Rollins coming out, and Nakamura comes out last because he did the boobs thing.
Yeah,
I think you're right. I think that could have been the way to go. I think you swap them over, and then you could spend a bit of time. You could do the same because you could have Big E win that match, say. And you could do that same promo with Heyman and Big E after that match, with Heyman talking about that and bigging up that pay-per-view match. And I think you're right. I think it would work quite well. But for whatever reason, SmackDown WWE just picked it weird. And I hope that's not a trend we're going to see over the next week, because it would make our round table next week a bit more like, what the more, rather than picking through the fine parts of this whole scenario, it'll just be, what the fuck is happening, guys? What are we doing? It was open goal, blue. What's out there? The match ended with Seth Rollins hitting the stomp on Big E on a ladder, got the pin, and then he went and climbed the ladder, grabbed the briefcase, as is people like to do when they're trying to build up, because you have to learn the rules of the match before going into it. You have to know there's people and there's ladders. You have to climb the ladder or pick up your briefcase.
But don't forget, the spot before that was Kevin Owens putting Shinsuke Nakamura on the announcer's table, dropping the elbow from that gigantic ladder onto Shinsuke Nakamura, and so they're out. So then, therefore, Rollins, as a dazed Big E, set up for a stomp onto the ladder, and there it is. That's the end.
Pat McAfee losing his shit over a senton off a ladder onto the table. It wasn't even that high. It's like, man, if he's going nuts now, man, Sunday night's gonna be it's gonna be mind blowing for him.
Yeah.
But it was okay. It was an okay SmackDown.
Yeah,
good SmackDown to have a crowd back. Good go home show.
But WWE, stop piping in the noise. Let the noise be the noise. Stop doing this bullshit. We don't want to hear what you want to hear. We want to hear what the crowd does. Stop trying to tell us what we want to hear. Let the crowd be the crowd. Just turn all your crap off. What'd you do?
That's something about habit. I think a fan's going somewhere.
I thought you had a mouse in your house or something. So
must be the PC. It's just oh well.
Yeah. I don't want to hear this sweetened noise, this produced sound that you're trying to get the idea. The whole let's make it where we want people to hear. Let the crowd be the crowd. That's what made you great in the 90s and the 2000s. Is the crowd was the crowd. Just let them be who they are. They're a part of the show. If you don't want them to be a part of the show, go back to the Thunderdome. The whole purpose of the crowd sets what we want to hear and what we want to see. And they build and do things that maybe you wouldn't have done. So you take a moment to listen to the crowd and hear what they're doing. So then you do something instead and the crowd pops for it. That's the whole purpose of the crowd. Exactly. Bring back the signs. That was some of the greatest stuff. Yeah, Jerome, I believe 100% bring back the signs.
Didn't they used to give out signs as well? Just to help it along a bit as well.
Yeah, exactly. We've already had enough piped in crowd noise from other sports with empty crowds. Wolfers, I think you agree. And with WWE and their garbage Thunderdome piped in noise where you're telling people what to do and how to behave, and they're not even making noise for it. We want to just hear the crowds. Just let them be the crowds. I think
natural.
That I this week I watched AEW and I watched WWE, for the specific reason to hear the difference in the noise. And it is strikingly different between the two because you can tell when WWE is putting in sweetened noise and when AEW is just letting the crowd be the crowd. They are just doing their thing and letting them be their thing, whereas WWE is not doing that, and that's the sad part, really. It is sad. So,
yeah. It's going to be interesting, like as I say, we look through this week if they're going to try and wean it out. They need to get it out of their system because it's what gives them life. It's so overproduced, and even like the stage. We never really talked about the stage as such, but it's like a big screen now.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting something maybe like akin to what they did before Thunderdome, but each to their own. Mm-hmm. It's strange. I think that's something we should talk about next week as well, as the comparison between how WWE have approached it and AEW approach it. I know not a lot of people will be too happy with that sort of kind of conversation because like we come here for SmackDown content and WWE stuff, but I think it's telling when you see the differences in the crowds. I think a big part of that though was AEW's always had a crowd at their shows because they either had wrestlers there or very spaced out fans in Jacksonville, so they've kind of kept it a little bit alive, so it's a bit more natural that you're still hearing it. Whereas WWE went from they just shut down, and then they tried it a couple of times, but it worked.
Exactly.
And that's
it didn't
where
work.
that's when they went to the Thunderdome and just hoped it. And it's quite hard. It's like used to be the saying is it's easier to do too much and bring it back than it is to do not enough and push it forward.
Right.
But in this instance, it's almost too hard to bring it back now because you've done so much and you're now got this in your way and how you work. You've probably trained new staff that this is how we produce our shows, so they're going to have to get that out of their heads and how they work. And good point. Never forget. Impact were the first to hold matches on TV without a crowd and did it better than anyone. Yeah. I would agree. I would absolutely agree. I think they did some great stuff.
That was because they were already doing that to begin with. Canada Space Man. Oh, shots fired. I know. But here's the thing. I think it's appropriate to do AEW too because here's the thing. AEW's in Texas last week and this week they book in WWE being there. So I think this is a fair comparison. Are the arenas smaller? Yes, they're a lot smaller that AEW is running compared to WWE, but still the quality of the sound, the things you're hearing and doing on these TV shows that are bookending WWE, I think that is why it is only fair you compare them because these are the only two companies that are really running shows with crowds on a consistent basis, and we're all here in the same area right now, and so. It's only fair to go, all right, they're all in Texas. So you're pulling from a lot of wrestlers. And I guarantee you guys who are going to AEW shows or going to WWE shows, I guarantee you that's happening. Wrestling, we're sick as wrestling fans, and we'll do that. So to say, I think I disagree with your point. I think it's fair to compare. Yeah. I think it's fair to have that on here. And I think it's fair. We would be doing a disservice to SmackDown and to WWE if we did not compare them as objective individuals going, well, this is what they're doing versus what AEW is doing. Y'all are in the same place. You're drawing from the same people. This is what we're seeing, and this is where the quality is. So I think honestly, it's fair. And if you don't like that, I'm sorry, but then you are a Rick Vickery fan who just shill for the WWE. Yeah. Shots fired.
But it is that we really got to kind of take it all in and see how, because the other thing is how well they've handled because we'll talk about this more next week as well. We'll do a big deep dive, but it's like how they handled the pandemic era. Or it's not really. It's still we're still in it. Let's not kid ourselves. But like the Thunderdome era or like and things like that, where like even WWE's luck has been atrocious because we could talk about WrestleMania next week because they had that storm that kicked things off and it really took things down a hole. They had to reset all the other complaints that people had in that there. And we've got ticket prices. I mean, we talked about it when we talked about the Money in the Bank pricing a few weeks ago. It's like AEW is so much more affordable. I looked at Voices of Wrestling on Twitter last night and they were going on with like, oh, you can't like WWE being drawn in New York by AEW is disgraceful. They should be ashamed of themselves. It's like, oh, you can't blame the how many like COVID. You can't blame ticket prices and things like that. Like, no, those are exactly the reasons why this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
WWE have only got 9,000 people at Madison Square. AEW are getting 15,000 miles down the road in another venue, and it's like you need to understand it's that they're set up differently,
right?
And they're also like AEW's probably charging more than half of what WWE were doing for any shows, especially Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden shows are not cheap. They absolutely are not cheap. So, those are very big factors. So to say that you can't use those as reasons why this is happening is unfathomable.
Well, I mean, let's think about this. If we're honest, let's take the New York shows. You got a Madison Square Garden show. You've got an Arthur Ashe Stadium show in Flushing Meadows. Which one would you rather go to? Me personally, I want to go to Arthur Ashe Stadium. It's bigger. It's air conditioned. It's got a roof. So if they want to wrestle with the roof open, and because it's a nice day, they can. If they want to wrestle with the roof closed and it's 72 degrees in there, we can do that too. I think it's a beautiful venue out there. It is one train ride into the line to get there if you ride the subway. According to my mom, I have never been, but my mom has been to the U.S. Open a couple of times. She enjoyed it, and she talked about how they stayed in New York in Manhattan or whatever, and then got on the 42 train and rode it all the way out to Flushing Meadows. And boom, there you go. It's the end of the line right there. You're getting off at Flushing Meadows at the USTA, stadium and Arthur Ashe. So to me, that I would do that, personally. To Madison Square Garden seems overrated. And Arthur Ashe, I asked my mom. I said, "Mom, how many people could fit in Arthur Ashe?" She says, "Oh, probably. It depends on how they set it up." She goes 16 to 20,000. So to me, this is AEW outdrawing WWE in a bigger stadium. This is the first time. Like, look, I mean, if you look at the two stadiums that AEW is doing right now, both are about like 2,000 to 5,000 seat stadiums. The Garland one's 2. I want to say the one in Cedar Park is like another 2 or 3. So they're not going to outdraw in that sense because Houston, we read was 18. The Fort Worth Arena is 12, and American Airlines is 14. So obviously they're going to outdraw there, but how many people show up is the question mark. We know the Tarp Emporium is alive and well, but
those ticket touts will be long. They'll be strong going as well. Anything that's happened, like if you're a ticket tout or people who buy like consoles, that's the other thing that I'm at to ask my being in the earth for the past like few months. It was all those people that buying up all the consoles and selling them on. You're like fucking dicks.
Yeah.
And, now I can't get one normally because I've got other things planned. Sensible things with my money now. I'd just be foolish. I'd lost it. But it's those kind of people that's it. As you say, Tap Emporium might be alive and well by that point. So we'll have to see how it pans out when it does. Well, is there anything else we've got to kind of cover today?
No, I
don't want to dip too much into this sort of chat today. And the reason being is because I think next week's going to be a very in-depth discussion. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to getting an idea of what you think. Right. I think we've got the vet coming in. The vet's involvement. I think we've got some other guests planned. I know you've got a special guest planned. I don't even know who it is. I'm looking for it.
Maybe we'll see. We'll see
if they do it.
Yeah. So, all right. If I'm going to tell you the special, I'm going to tell you the special because it's not a big deal. My girlfriend's son is going to Money in the Bank.
Oh, we got him on.
I'm shooting to get him on. He is being very. Yeah, I know. So, he's going because this is. I think I was telling you, he's going because he's getting. A coach that he had as a graduation gift is paying for half of his ticket, and he had to pay for the other half. So, because teacher salary, you're not going to be able to do that for the whole thing, $250, because he's got to pay for his ticket. He says, "I'm paying for half of James' ticket as a graduation gift," and so at $250, man, that's a good chunk. And so $125. So I'm like, James, if you go, I'd love to have you on and talk about what was like. And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. So they just got back from North Carolina. They literally arrived at their house at 4 a.m. this morning. So I may go over and see her this evening. and say hey to everybody. And I might give him the hard sell a little bit more to try to get him on. I think that would be fun to have him on and talking.
Just show him the chat from this week's show because it's been fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah.
Well
you
done,
guys.
guys.
You guys are just the best. I mean, talking about Adam Sandler movies and Happy Gilmore, which, by the way, that's
DUI chat going on here as well. I learned stuff about how the legal system works over in Canada, how they deal with like drunk drivers and what have you. This has been fucking. There it is. Like that's the chat right there. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to see.
Yeah.
Put his ass on. Don't be shy.
Yeah.
Damn right.
I'm not shy, and apparently he's shy though.
When do we get paid? Not before me.
Yeah, not before me. Motherfucker, I'm a nonprofit worker. You think I'm not paying you before I get paid?
I get paid in exposure right now.
Yeah, exactly. But you don't want us exposing ourselves, to quote the great Bill Murray from Ghostbusters 2.
After the big finish there.
Yeah.
I know. But
do we have any mail sack? Do we have a mail sack today?
No, we don't.
Okay.
My bad. I don't really have a mail sack.
No, you're good.
But we can do. I feel like we need to do a mailbag edition of this.
Yeah,
really. We've missed out the mailbag for a couple of weeks now, so we can do that. You know what? You want to help us fill out our mail sack? If you're on the group chat, if you're watching this after the fact, look down below. There's some great details. You can find us so many ways. You can find us on Twitter at SmackAttackHMG. Email us directly, smackattackhammymedia@gmail.com. You can go over to the Facebook group, the Hammy Media discussion group, where myself and John are both there. We are always active. We're about, we watch, we comment on things. It's a great place to be if you're not already on it. If you're watching this channel and you've not on the Facebook group, how you even found us? Amazing effort. Well done. Get to the Facebook group. And there's so much stuff goes on. There's pick'ems. We do discussion points. People put out others do live chats for pay-per-views. All things go on there. So get involved as much as you can. There's a great time on there. There's a party. There's a Hammy Media Discord as well, which I keep forgetting to talk about on this show. I should always mention that. The Hammy Media Discord. There's a leaf for the Smack Attack there as well. So if you've got anything, put something on. I should really put the links out to the episodes in there so people can follow on. So just get involved in any way you can. We love it when you hear from you. We will answer any questions you've got when you put it in this into the mailbag. We've talked about
literally
food,
anything. We've talked
football. We booked the A-Team with SmackDown Stars. We've booked Next Generation with SmackDown Stars. We have done it. We've done the craziest thing. It's like, hang on that there. What's that? You do have any more? Yes, we do. SmackAttackHammyMedia@gmail.com. We've had it for years. Well, as far as I'm aware, we've had it for years. I've been in charge of it since August last year. Yeah. Wow, I'm coming up for my anniversary on this show, by the way.
Ooh, we'll have to do something special.
Anniversary day. Mad story I can tell about how this started. It involved me and Joe, me quitting my job, also moving house, all in this space, and then starting on this, all in this space of a week, and then got my other job as well. I was like, that week was wild. So I decided to quit my job, get a new job, move house, then was on this. Oh man, okay, I'll tell you on my anniversary.
Yeah, say it on the anniversary. Save it for the anniversary.
Sports course. Yeah. So, but it's fun time. So you can get in touch with all these different ways. You can listen to us. I need to try and get this on an audio form again. I need to get this on, try and get it on Patreon or something like that. I should really pull the finger out on that because we've not got the podcast channel anymore. But what we do have is a podcast channel, is a Hammy Media Affiliates channel. We have so many great podcasts, including the Academy podcast that you usually get every 2 weeks with my man John Enright and Triple D every week, talking all things Star Trek. If you're big on Star Trek, if you're a Trekkie, you love it. There's so much to deep dive into. They have some great episodes for that there. It's a great podcast. I quite enjoy editing it, to be fair.
Yeah.
You also put me through my paces now.
Yeah, because we just screw shit up all the time, and we put stuff all the places and give you wrong time codes, and all fun stuff like that. But yeah, and we haven't done anything lately with Triple D. He's been busy, and it was partially my week this week. I ended up putting in longer days this week than I normally do. It's been a busy week. We had 2 grants due on Wednesday for my program, so that's just a lot of scrambling and making sure numbers are right, and narratives, and all kinds of stuff that you get to do with the government. So that was enjoyable. So I ended up working till 8 most days until Wednesday or Thursday, and we were supposed to record Wednesday, and I totally blew by it. And I messaged Triple D the next day, like, dude, I'm so sorry. I didn't I've been working and I haven't heard from him. So either I pissed him off really bad. So if he's listening, I'm so sorry, Triple D. I didn't mean to offend you or get you upset. Or he's just been as busy as well. I mean, that dude is running 3
He is a
chains.
machine.
He's a machine. He does all kinds of stuff. I mean, gets up at 2 a.m. to go make donuts and get things going and open store. And they have 3 stores to keep track of up in upstate New York. And it's also help funding and running Immortal Wrestling. Which, hey, by the way, shout out to GGP being on AEW Dark.
Stuff, by the way, got a good spot on that as well. By the way, going up against the Dark Order.
Yeah, really good.
I feel about everyone getting the kicks in though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, part of me knowing GGP was going like, "What the fuck is this kid doing right now? Like, what is he doing?"
You think that was that thing where it was like, "You're gonna get kicked by?" It's like, fuck.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. Well, here's the funny part, right? So people watch that match, and of course we all shared it. So then there's a guy who's down here, is a Texas wrestler. His name's Bryson Scott, and he says, all I want to do is punch GGP in the face." And I'm going, "Hey, he's a part of our He's a part of our Hobby Media grouping wrestler. Let's make this happen." And so I tagged a whole bunch of promoters. I tagged Pele Pro Wrestling. I tagged VIP. I tagged all these guys down here that I know. Hey, let's make this happen. Bryson Scott versus GGP. And so I am working like a dog to get GGP to Texas so that we can do that. Man, and then just have it. Ooh, shit. Then we can have a one-on-one Star Wars versus Star Trek podcast.
All right, I'm in.
That would be a Patreon exclusive, dude. Money. Him and I talking the pros and cons of each and which is best. And so
Town Hall.
No Town Hall. One-on-one, motherfucker. Him and I face to face talking what's the best, Star Wars or Star Trek. Exactly, Jerome. Money. Yeah. To quote JTG, the current VIP champ here in Texas. So, so that would be fun to do that. Let's get him booked to Texas. So, hey, if you guys go to social media, tag VIP, tag Pele Pro Wrestling, tag any other Texas promotions you can think of, tag them and say, we want to see Bryson Scott versus GGP. Let's do that. Let's get that going. Let's get him down to Texas. Let's show him some good Texas hospitality and how I'll whip his ass in Star Trek being better than Star Wars. So let's do this. It'll be fun. Yeah. And so before we go, I want to end today with a mental health tip from my friend Jackson Stone. We're working on getting him on here. We're going to take a couple weeks, but if you want to hear him, make sure you go to his YouTube channel, Jackson Stone, on YouTube. He's got a great podcast, Champions Adjust, but he's also got some great mental health things and some other where he talks to other people. Go check that out. He's got some great stuff on there. And him and I are going to be on with the Dark Lord of the Sith, Spiro. He on his Rational Rage podcast. Spiro's reached out to us, and Jackson and I are gonna be on there talking about suicide prevention. So, that'll be good, to do that. So, but I'm gonna leave you today with this mental health tip, and it's very simple. We're just gonna give you some reminders. 1, you are loved. 2, you are worthy. 3, you are enough. And 4, you are important. Hope you have a fantastic week. You want to take care of yourself, and much love from Jackson Stone. And P.S. Thanks for being here. And if that doesn't warm your heart and make you feel good, then I don't know what's wrong with you. But that's my man Jackson Stone. Just makes you feel real good. Good to have a nice little reminder of that, though. Now and again,
exactly. It's such a small thing, but it kind of keeps you going. It's so important that you just kind of recognize that you are worth.
Later, Jerome. Have a good week, man.
Yeah, like you. Thanks for tuning in with us as well. Much appreciated for that. We love it when you all get in touch with us here. It's been such a fun time doing this show as well. So keep it coming. It's so important to just kind of remember that you're so you're
Elizabeth.
You matter. You might have a bad day. You might think you're just sitting at home doing it quiet, but you matter. You matter to someone. You should matter to yourself as well. And that's the thing, is that there's all these different chemicals and elements in the world, but we're all matter. That's the thing. I always like to think about it in that way. So just be good to yourself and be good to each other. Elizabeth, so glad I caught you all live. Yeah, we love it. It's been one of the best things we've done is just go live with this thing. I'm so glad they've made this move, especially now that it works.
Yeah,
people are watching this who remember the dark days of the Smack Attack not that long ago.
Because someone wouldn't listen to me.
I know. Best $18 I spend every month now. But it's so it's always be good to yourself, be good to each other. Any closing business before we finish off? Get your comments in if you want to get any shout outs or anything said out before we go. But anything else? I think I'm cleaned out. I'm pretty good. I'm knackered. I've got to go have some food. I've had a full working day, then straight into here.
I gotta go get some free food. I found out there's a new restaurant opening. They're having a soft open. We're having free Nashville hot chicken. Me and my son, we're getting ready to go do that. So Nashville hot chicken.
I want some of that action. You know what? I need to get to that petrol station that you've got there. That
you need to come to Buc-ee's, man.
Buc-ee's. Jeez, if you just hear about Buc-ee's, go to the beginning of this video when this finishes up. Fuck me dead. The size of that place for a gas station is bonkers. Here we go. Guys, thanks. I actually had to find a job. Hey, keep yourself going. You keep yourself going strong, my man. It will come. It's good things come to those who wait, and there's nothing. It sounds such cheesy, but what's for you won't go by you. So always stick with that. Remember that it will come. It will promise you. As an actor who lives his life, who just sits at home, auditions for things, and waits for the phone to ring, it's a totally. I can feel that pain in the sense that it does come. It's all about just. As long as you're doing your part to yourself, the rest will come together. So
and just stay strong, Wolfers. I know you've been through a lot, so everybody in this chat, we got your back. Just know that, like Jason said, you're loved. We're glad you're here, and keep pushing forward, man. And if you ever need anything, you know how to get a hold of James or I. I'm sure we would gladly talk to you.
Oh yeah,
and then encourage you. So just thanks for being here, my friend, and we are glad. I mean, Wilfers and I go back a ways for about a year or two now. So I'm glad you're around, my friend, and just keep doing what you're doing. So I think with that, I'm done with everything.
Yeah, I think I've done. We have smacked this attack very well.
Yeah,
we've done a good show. You know what? Thanks for that. It's been I really enjoy these shows, so it's been an absolute pleasure. So thank you to the chat. Thank you for chatting with us and getting involved. We hope to see you again when we do this another time. Thank you, John, for another great conversation. I look forward to doing this all again next week. And I say we do it as always, but the next week is going to be a bumper show. We're going to have a panel, myself, John. We're going to have the vet, Jamie, in to do some chat. We might have some other guests involved. We might have James, who goes to Money in Bank tomorrow night, to come on. Fingers crossed, lads. Don't be shy. Get on this show, son. Get on the show. We'll have a great. We'll have a big show. We'll try and get the SmackDown review as well. We'll so much stuff in the next week. I can't wait to do that. There. So we'll get to that. We will see you next week, as always, on the Smack Attack. Cheery.